You get stale.
Popcorn.
Popcorn.
You forget about things like stale.
Popcorn. Popcorn. Stale popcorn.
Popcorn.
Pop.
This is the
Stale popcorn.
Hello and welcome to the Stale Popcorn Podcast. I'm Stephen, and with me, as always, is my co-host, my partner in crime, of which we have committed several, Christopher. How are you?
I'm well, Steve. And I thought we agreed not to speak of these crimes and take it to our deaths.
Yes, we will take it to our deaths afterwards, after this episode. We will commit suicide together, and all of our crimes will be in the past.
Yes, well, shall we move on?
We will move on, yes. This tired and slow voice is maybe a mirror, a reflection, if you will, for the things that are to come in this episode. Okay, I'm done with this. I got some shout-outs, Chris.
Ooh.
Yes, up top, we got some fan interactions we want to shout out. So on TikTok, if you see our videos and comment below, you can get a shout out. So we got one for us here. Angelica Williams, thanks for commenting on our videos. Shout out to you. Also, Big Day on YouTube. He's our number one fan, Christopher.
Ooh,
by far.
Big Day.
There's 4 people who listen to it. You, me, Big Day, and probably someone else. So, shout out to you.
Is it Day or Big Die? I always thought it was Die.
Ooh, is it? Comment below. How do you pronounce it?
Tell us how to say it.
Yes, thank you. But yeah, we got quite the show for folks. If you want to skip around, take a jaunt to different topics, you can go over some movie news, Last of Us Season 2, and then jump into Andor Season 2 later. But Chris, I got some news. Do you mind if I start?
I don't. Let's hear it, Steve. Let's hear.
Do you like Domhnall Gleeson, Christopher?
I do.
Do you like The Office?
I do, yes.
The Office spin-off series starring Domhnall Gleeson is coming to Peacock in September, titled The Paper. It says the series from Office showrunner Greg Daniels and Michael Coleman is set to premiere in September. Peacock also released the first image of the series, also shows Oscar Nunez, who will reprise his role as Oscar Martinez.
Ooh.
It's about a struggling Midwestern newspaper that's much reduced from its glory days. A lot of the storylines are about how this guy, Domhnall Gleeson's character, is trying to restore his paper and doesn't have the budget for hiring reporters and all that jazz. So, yeah, something new to look forward to, potentially. Yeah. And then I also got some other news that we could just blast through because it's like, these things have happened. They're worth mentioning, but they're not really worth like talking about it. So it's just like a one and done type of deal.
All right, let's be done then.
Fallout renewed for Season 3.
Cool.
King of the Hill renewed on Hulu. It's coming back.
All right.
Jessica Jones will be in Daredevil Season 2.
Move on.
And Andy's birthday party has been moved to today.
What do you mean the party's today?
But Chris, you got news for me?
Well, I got some big news.
Shoot.
You remember that streaming service called Max?
HBO Max. Or Max. Sure.
Guess what they're changing their name to?
HBO Max.
Yeah. No, HBO Max.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So I got a little timeline here. So 2022, HBO Max, and it had a purple background. 2023, they swapped to Max, keeping the purple. 2024, Max, but it's a little more blue in the background. 2025, Max with a black background. And now they're switching it to HBO Max with the black background.
Oh boy. You know, a couple things that irk me there. There's a man who designed all these logos that look the exact same that's going to get paid upwards of 6 figures for all of this crap, which, unwarranted. But also, HBO, if you're so unsure of yourself and your branding, just, maybe don't do it. Just leave it alone. Because everyone just calls it HBO Max. The 4 people that I talked to.
I just barely swapped. I've been saying Max for the last week, and now you got to get me back to the HBO Max?
Enough to cancel a service, if you ask me.
I know.
Yeah. Chris, I see something up your sleeve there. Is that what I think it is?
I got something up my sleeve, and I'm pulling it out. It's over 9,000. We're talking
Glenn's Corner, where I'm sitting in the corner looking at nothing but a picture of Glenn.
I got an article here from InStyle.com titled, Who Has Glenn Powell Dated? A deep dive on his past girlfriends and rumored flings. First up, we got Nina Dobrev.
Oh, she's...
Vampire Diaries.
Yes.
She's in that one Christmas movie with the Asian guy, and he catfishes her.
Oh, yeah, I eat the fish.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we got Renee Barg.
Never heard of her. Skip.
She's an Aussie TV host. Then we got Gigi Paris.
Oh, so famous they named a city after her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a deep cut there.
And when you finish a game and you do well, you say GG.
Oh, yeah.
She's very popular. And last but not least, Sydney Sweeney. But let's be honest, Sydney, he's out of your league.
Yeah. If that does happen, I feel like it would be akin to the Lisan Al-Gaib and Florence Pugh marriage, just for appearances, if you will. You know what I mean? Just because they're both the it people right now.
Yes.
But who knows? I've never seen anyone but you. Maybe they'd actually like each other.
I mean, they had good chemistry. I've seen it. There was love in their eyes.
Yeah. Well, you know, what does our life come to, Chris? We're speculating.
I know.
Freaking. But we committed to the bit. We have to keep doing it.
I know. We're really reaching. Let me ask you this. Who would you set Glenn up with? What would be the dream match to Glenn here?
I like Daisy Edgar Jones for him in that Twisters movie.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like she's not A-list.
That's true. They just have good chemistry there.
Yeah, we need to get how about this? Who would be the perfect wife to give them a perfect Nepo baby here?
Sydney Sweeney comes to mind.
It's probably Sydney, honestly.
You know what? I'm going to pull an audible. Jodie Foster.
Oh.
She's got
that's
star power.
true.
Wouldn't see it coming. Meryl Streep. She could also.
That'd work. I like that one. Helen Mirren.
Mm-hmm.
She's still kicking it. Where's Julie Andrews up to these days?
Oh, she's still voicing Bridgerton roles, maybe.
Is she? Did she?
She's the one who voices Bridgerton. She's like, a scandal. You know,
if
you're an avid listener of watcher of Bridgerton, of which we have established, Christopher.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we need to have a Bridgerton segment now.
Ooh.
Oh, that would be something.
Bridger, ton of news we got going here.
Yeah.
Gosh, anyway.
All right. Well, let me ask you, buddy. You got any movies you've seen? Any shows you've seen? Any hoes you've been seeing?
Oh, just the first one.
Okay.
I've only seen one thing.
Okay.
Well, actually two shows, but The Last of Us, which you want to talk about, or have you seen anything?
I seen a cop.
Okay, poor.
I seen Clown in a Cornfield. You heard.
I seen it on my feed with other movie reviewers, and I was like, that's not for me, but how did you like it?
Let me tell you this. If you like clowns, if you like corn and fields, it's got all of those. It's an IFC film.
I don't know what that is. Is that a studio?
It's a little cute little studio, and apparently it's their best grossing film.
Okay.
It's doing pretty well for a little low budget. When I looked, it had like a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. And it was kind of fun. It's got Durant. Is that his name? Kevin Durant?
The basketball player?
Kevin Durant?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. He's
one guy.
The Blob from X-Men.
Yeah, the Blob.
Yeah.
He's in it, and then a bunch of random people that I couldn't really tell you. But it's a horror. There's clowns. Like I said, there's corn. It's a high school type thriller.
Does Kevin Costner show up?
I wish.
In the Field of Dreams?
No, it was kind of like a standard. I think I'm getting a little horrored out.
You've seen a lot.
I've seen a lot. I feel like now it's easy for me to hate a horror film. But this one I didn't hate, but it wasn't anything new to me. But I wasn't mad while watching it, which I consider that as a win.
Sure.
It's a little spooky, but it's very predictable because you don't know. Are these clowns real? Are they ghosts? Who's the clown? Are there more clowns? Who's it gonna be? It's one of those type, and it's a little silly, some funny parts.
Quick and easy.
But what I'm trying to say is, I give it 1 minute. I stand up, clap for 1 minute. It's fine. I'll never watch it again, but it wasn't the worst.
Okay. Has been the worst horror this year for you.
Well, this year is Until Dawn.
Oh,
But that
okay.
wasn't as bad as last year's Let It Go, I think. That Halle Berry one where her like backyard is haunted or something. That was stupid. I hated that one.
Okay.
And then, Steve, I seen Shadow Force. You heard.
Is this with Kerry Washington
It is.
and Idris?
All right, buddy.
I just.
It's not Idris, okay?
Okay.
It's Mr. Echo.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I have no
Sorry.
idea. I don't think it actually. I just took a shot of the dark. Maybe it's Chadwick Boseman. Is it him? Who was that?
We're gonna see who's wrong then.
I think it's the new Snape, actually.
Ooh, Papa Isidu? Oh no, it's Lupin.
Oh, it's Bishop.
Yeah.
It was Bishop. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
The concept. What, you seen the tray? You know what it's
I've
about?
just seen a poster.
Let me tell you if this sounds familiar. There's two parents, and they're both spies. And basically, they end up falling in love. And they have a baby, and they end up getting out of the Secret Service, and they're kind of on living in hiding. They want to raise this kid, and they don't want danger following them. Does this sound kind of familiar?
It sounds very familiar, Christopher.
What does it remind you of?
Is it the Cameron Diaz, Jamie Foxx?
What is that called?
Spy families? Get back in action.
This one, Black in Action.
I was going to say, it sounds like a Can't Buy Me Love, Love Don't Cost a Thing situation, if you know what I mean.
Yes, it's basically the same, except this one, she's out still hunting. Because I think this came out on Mother's Day, like that weekend. So they make her be like the mom that's a real protector, and she's out trying to kill. Basically, they're in Shadow Force. Mark Strong, he's the leader of Shadow Force, which is the world's best assassins all together working for the CIA. And you can never leave, or else you get a bounty on your head, and they end up sneaking away, but they're constantly being tracked by these assassins. So Kerry Washington, she's basically got to abandon the dad and the kids so she can protect the family.
Very noble.
Something that was really annoying to me, it was like 50% English, 50% French. And it like wouldn't make sense. Like they'd be having a normal conversation like, hey, how was your day? Parlez-vous français? It's just like start speaking French and then back to English where I'm like, is there like something in the, like, is this a French film, but they want it in America? Because there's just like so much random French that doesn't make sense. And then another thing with the movie, like we said, Black in Action here. I go to theater. It's about half full, maybe. Let's just say I was the only one not Black in Action here.
Okay.
They would be like, they'd say something like, they'd be like, hey, Jeremy, come here. Jeremy? And then the theater was just hooting and oh, and I was like, what? Was that a joke? And also, just like keep in mind, normally you go to a theater and it's just like silent, like you sit and watch. It's like if you have something to say to the person next to you, like whisper, like, oh, that's kind of, what happened there, This one, it just like felt like we're eating lunch at a Subway. Like people be like, oh no, he's gonna shoot him, isn't he? I'm like, I think so. I mean, throughout the whole movie. Which, if it was a different movie, I'd probably get more annoyed. But this, I'm like, I don't really care. It was fun, But yeah, throughout the whole time, the theater loved it, and I thought the movie was like fine. It was better than Back in Action. It's like Friends. Like if you watched Friends and there was no laugh track, you wouldn't know it's a joke. At least me personally. And it just felt like that the whole movie. I'm like, oh, they're laughing. I guess that was a joke.
Yeah.
Just like things like that. I felt like Michael Scott, and he's like, I love inside jokes.
Love to be a part of one.
I'd love to be a part of them sometime. Because I'm like, clearly they're hitting their audience here. But it just, all of them just went right over my head.
So you're saying there's a slight cultural divide?
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess so. And then, as I'm leaving the theater, everyone's like, oh, man, what? That was a great film, And I looked, because I was curious, critics, I think they're more of my complexion, because they gave it like a 20%, but audience gave it an 85, so.
Okay.
So overall, I didn't hate it. I think I'd probably give it about a minute standing up.
Okay.
Give a minute. The action's not great, but there's some action. Story's nothing new, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, fair enough.
Then I seen a show, Steve.
Ooh.
Last of Us. Episode 5, I think?
Episode 5, indeed. Yep. I got cons, Chris. I got
Mm.
cons and I got pros, but let's start with some cons, if you will.
Sure.
Most of it is Ellie. She just doesn't got her head in the game. She, where's it at? It's in the clouds. It's anywhere but where it needs to be. She does not bring anything to the table. I'm sorry.
She beat a girl. That was pretty cool.
Okay. But what I mean is, you got one party in Dina, triangulating. She's doing mathematics, doing all she can.
R3.
And then you got Ellie popping up, laugh track and all.
She's a good human shield, I guess.
Yeah. I did like that scene where she starts playing the guitar and they're like, oh, we need to remind her why she's here. I was like, all right, let's get back on track. There's a cool moment with the clickers, the smart clickers on them. It was very scary because you see one of them and then you see another one and then you see another one in the background there and then you see more and more and more and the tension grows, if you will.
Was tension.
Mm-hmm. It hits the fan. The fecal matter hits the fan, if you will, Christopher. and everyone's spraying about. Everyone's just having a go of it. Dina hides in the bloody thing, and then I was like, "Where's this gonna go? How are they gonna get out of this?" And then Jesse finds him. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Couple questions there. Was he just watching him? Was he just following him? Seattle's a big city. I don't know if you've ever been to any city. It's big,
Yeah.
It would. I need some more explanation. Did he just fall in the whole time? If so, how long? Did they see their little coup d'etat between them? You know what I mean?
I think he went. He found him in the theater, which would be hard, I feel like. But then he found the map. That's how he knew to go to the building, I think. But I still don't really know how he finds them in the theater.
Listen, I'm putting my credit card back in my wallet because I don't buy it, Christopher. It just doesn't. I don't like it. I don't like the X saving at the last day. But I guess my only pro this episode was, hey, that tension was cool until it wasn't.
It was good tension.
The tension was there.
I like the woods. It was real creepy. They're in the woods. They're creeping around the Seraphonites. Is that what they're called?
Syphilis fights. Wait,
Syphilis Knights.
Yep.
They got the wolf guy, and they cut him open. Cut up his belly. He's dead. And then they start hunting him down. Nina gets shot with an arrow. They're in the woods. They're all separated. Oh, what's Ellie going to do? She's just going to hide in a tree. And luckily they don't look there, I guess. And then she says, I could go back to the theater, or I could beat up this African-American woman, torture her half to death. And that's what she does. I'm not saying it was right, but that's what she did. And I thought the scene where she chases her and they have the... I guess this is new to the show as far as I could tell. It wasn't in the game. They have it's going airborne, which it hadn't before. Yeah. But now in the game, it's always airborne, like there's spores. But this one, I think it just developed. Which my theory, season 1, it wasn't there. Because you want to see Pedro Pascal's face.
Oh, yeah.
But now that you kill the man, bring on the spores.
Slap a mask on, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. We don't want to see. I think they're trying to course correct with Bella Ramsey here.
Pay actors less. That's what they did with the Mandalorian. Just put that helmet on.
Yeah. So that was different. And I like the scene where, she goes down there and she's like, you know what you've done? We're dead. She's like, speak for yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
Which, couple things. I get they sealed it off, but I'm like, there's plenty of buildings in Seattle. I just move buildings. It's not like there's no options. And in the game, and they're in the building and she's chasing
Nora.
And there's just a part of the building that has spores in it with a bunch of zombies. They just close the door and they're like, it's probably fine. And then
they put some painter's tape in the corners.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Just move building. Is it that hard? But I thought that was fun. You get in the darker side of Ellie.
I will say the hospital bits where you see the spores developing and all the shrooms about. That was cool. I like that set design. It looks real cool. Props to them. I was like, this looks fantastic.
Again, looking forward to next week here. I'm guessing it's going to be mainly just flashbacks of Joel, it kind of looks like. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, Chris, let's dive in bloody stars first into this Star Wars story that is Andor Season 2. This ain't your grandpappy's Star Wars, Christopher. Let me tell you what. Actually, now that I think about it, it probably is your grandpappy's story because it's filled with political intrigue. It's probably as slow as he is walking speed. So it's not your 8-year-old son's Star Wars, if you know what I mean.
It's not your Lego Star Wars.
Yes. There's implications of intercourse in this series, Chris. Not suitable for children. I think we'll just spoil it all. We'll talk. We won't go over every minute detail, but we'll paint with some broad strokes what we liked, what we didn't like. Full spoilers ahead. I have to sing praises, Christopher. I really have to shout you out and let the audience know you're the man. You know, I appreciate you. You know why? Because Chris had done more homework for this episode than I think he ever has for anything in his college career. Am I right?
Yeah, I did about the same, I'll say. I will admit here.
Yeah. So I had been begging Chris to watch season 1 for years. And then when it was time to do this episode, he shotgunned season 1 and 2 in like how many days?
Well, before you get too nice on me, Steve, here, I gave it the old college try.
Oh, praise revoked. Praise revoked, Christopher. Everyone who listened earlier, no.
Because I had seen part of first season. I was just running out of time, Steve. So I watched what were the best episodes, statistically speaking. And I can give them to you if you want. So I didn't see every episode. I got the gist. I watched the end. I kind of skipped episodes 2 to 7, maybe?
On season 1?
Season 2. I've seen pretty much all season 1.
Okay. Okay.
So I got it. I get it.
You get it. Okay. All right.
Do you know of the highest rated episodes? Or you want me to?
It's probably 7 and 8.
Yeah. Highest to lowest 8, 9, 12, 10, 11. So I was like, well, let me just get to the meat and potatoes here. I'm skipping the veggies and getting in this.
You know, praise is revoked. We've established that. I get it. It's a lot to watch. And, you know, that's why Spider-Man told those kids, you know, eat your green vegetables. Because if you watch the whole thing, you could do backflips. But that's beside the point, I guess.
Want to know what I tell him? I'm going to put some dirt in your eye.
Yeah. There's one way to go about that. There's a lot of controversy about this whole series. I think Christopher, Andor Season 1 is the best Disney Star Wars has ever done. I'll just put that out there. I loved it. And I think this season, it's good, not as good as season 1.
I think I agree. I think my favorite episode out of all of them was season 1, the little prison break one.
That's a great,
That's my favorite. I was like, I love a good prison break. Plus,
love
you
Andy,
get bloody Andy in there.
It is divisive. Even, Chris, within our own circles, there are naysayers.
Ooh.
And I got some pull quotes from the boys' chat, if you'll indulge me. Not putting anyone on blast, not putting anyone's names out there. I have some quotes. Quote, hated the first 3 episodes.
All right.
Another quote, Mon Mothma doing shots and dancing killed me. For some reason, I'm hungry for a cheeseburger and Steve Harvey.
Oh.
Just some pull quotes about it. What we got going here. But yeah, I think it is divisive, but I think it's the highest quality Star Wars has put out. I liken it, Chris, to like a Star Wars Game of Thrones, where higher quality, you got bloody interconnected stories, really good acting, set design, just firing on all cylinders for me. And I think what we can do is just get into some cons and finish on some high notes. What do you think of that?
Yes. Can I just rebut here on the
Sure.
Can I go con here? I get they were going for the Game of Thrones, but I think why it works really well in Game of Thrones is you have like 8 seasons and you kind of build, because it's like you watch through it the first time and you're like, I don't really know who Varys is or this like Littlefinger. Like, I get their people, but then you're like, oh, you like when you basically get to know more about like season 3 or 4, and then you're like, oh, I could go back and then this is gonna make a more sense and more enjoyable rewatch. Versus this is just like 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Basically, my main storyline I liked was Andor.
Yep.
And I didn't really care for like Mothra or even
her friends call her Mothra. Yeah, that's her name.
yeah. The Godzilla villain or whatever that thing is.
They're not dissimilar, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't care for her. Even like Stellan, Skarsgård, I'm like, I like the guy, but like I didn't really care for any of those type of things personally.
In this season, you mean, right?
In like any of them, really.
Oh,
I liked Andor. I liked
okay.
Cal, what's his name? Calrissian, Lando, Kalamazoo.
Cassian Andor?
Cassian, that's the kid's name. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of his, yeah.
Huge fan. I think one of the biggest cons that this season in particular has is it expects us to remember all the details and everything from last season. So in my case, I hadn't seen any Andor things since like 2 years ago. And I was like, hey, I really liked that show. I'm going to jump right back in. And they bloody hit you over the head. Even they do like a recap, but I'm like, I'm watching this stuff with Mon Mothma and I'm like, how does she... Where are we at again? You know, that maybe that's just a point to me because a lot of the characters was like, how does she, what is this thing? And I had to stop and watch like a recap of season 1. So that's just my personal point of like user error there. The biggest con I think a lot of people have, and I slightly have it, is that it's very slow. It's very, very slow at times, Christopher. It can seem like someone impersonating a Severus Snape type, much like this, and I'm already bored at times.
I can't wait for the new Snape.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Everyone turn the page to 445.
Yeah. Yeah, so it is...
My wizard.
Yeah, very good. It's slow. And it does build. I think season 1 had a better pacing because it was like 3 episodes would be like, oh, there's a little contained story, another 3 episodes, so it'd be by 3. And this one, it kind of peaks at episode 7 and then sort of fizzles out towards the end a little bit.
Are you saying excitement-wise?
Yeah, excitement-wise, not quality-wise, but the episode where they're on Gorman, it's like the height, and then it doesn't quite reach that ever again in the series, for me at least.
Episode 8 was the one where they attack all the people.
Whichever one that one is, yeah.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the peak.
Yeah, so I definitely hear the critiques. Mon Mothma, or Mothra, as we actually real friends call her Mothra. Hey, that was pretty good. I didn't care for her character, and I was like, probably could skip a lot of this. And I think, Christopher, what would be fun, there's a whole internet kind of cove where people re-edit things, re-edit movies to make them shorter or better. I would love to see this series cut down to like a trilogy of movies, like Andor season 1 and 2, that would lead up to Rogue One. I think that would probably be better if paced a little bit more, tighten up the screws a little bit. It probably sounds like I don't know what I'm talking about because I don't, because I said the opposite thing with Sinners. I was like, oh, I'll turn that into a series. Now I'm saying turn this into a movie, which I don't know. Maybe
you're just looking for just do the opposite of what you're saying. Just do the
opposite, yeah. But yeah, I think tighten up the screws, I would love to see that version of it.
Just prequels in general, I'm never a big fan of.
Lacks tension.
You know who's going to die and you know who's going to live.
Yeah.
To me, if it's a prequel, it's always an uphill battle because there's no stakes for me. You got any other cons? I got a couple pros.
I got pros. Let's move on.
It's got a good cast. Every episode, there's like a random person like, hey, Petunia. Hey, it's the wolf from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
One of my favorite actors, Ben Mendelsohn.
Oh,
I love him. He steals the screen whenever he's on for me, buddy.
We were this close.
Good cast, good acting. I'd say my favorite was probably that episode 8, but I did like the opening episode. It starts off pretty interesting, where he's stealing the new bloody TIE fighter.
That was great. Yeah.
And he's on the planet with the other rebel people. That was fun.
I love that bit where it establishes you've seen ace pilots in Star Wars before, Han Solo or whatever. And this guy, he's like, all right, I'm going to do this. And he's not great at it.
Going wrong.
Everything that could go wrong does. And that's much more exciting than him just like being able to pick up whatever and go for it. You see him in his distress and he's like, well, dang, I got to figure out, he's got to stick and move. And that's what makes a great character. He doesn't stop.
Got to jam that square and hit that triangle.
Quick time events and all, yeah. I think to speak to that, my favorite characters in this, season 2 especially, season 1 I have different characters that are favorites. I really like Cyril, played by Kyle Soller. He is just a more complex and layered character than we've seen in Star Wars, where in the first season he was just kind of like this unsure of himself little kind of dweeb who dreamt of greatness but couldn't ever live up to it and was like this little on the spectrum kind of weird guy, Yes. And then in this season He's still kind of there, but there's a part where the pin drops and he just turns on a dime. And it gets real intense with him and his girlfriend, Dedra.
Yeah, it's just straight up choking
Yeah.
the gal. Like, hey, where's this coming from, buddy?
Because he figures out, like, hey, I've been a pawn in this and I don't like it. And it was really cool to see his development in that. And he's a really great actor. I thought he was one of the more engaging and compelling characters. Along with Luthen, he was another top of mind. But another pro I have, Chris, 2 words: world building. Some might argue too much world building, a little bit too slow. If George Lucas suggested these worlds, he painted with broad strokes. This series does the details. And it says explicitly things that really just build the world in a really engaging way for me. Like, what does a normal Star Wars person do? What do they dress like in their homes? What does their homes look like? How does the news work? All this weird stuff that doesn't need to be in there, but adds to the story, adds to the characters, really just builds up this really lived-in world that I appreciated. It's never like in your face, kind of like the sequel trilogy where they're like, hey, look at this lightsaber, this is whatever, all this stuff. All this was like, these are people, this is the world. Here it is. Last pro, the Empire has never been scarier than in this series. Because, you got your Hux. We talked about Domhnall and his Huxness, right?
Sure.
In the sequel trilogy, it's not really, it's this, weird thing you can't really attach yourself to. Is, they're evil for the sake of being evil. This one, Chris, this series shows they're evil. They got plans. They're not stupid. They know how to use people and things, politics, news, and everything to their advantage to get what they want. And that whole, Gorman subplot, the best part of the show, did the whole insurrection and everything. Genius. And I don't know, it's just painted them where it's like, okay, these guys should be scared of, you should be scared of them. And I really like that. We haven't seen the Empire more frightening than in this. Along with that, the K2 robots, it was almost like a horror scene when they come
just
out.
Throwing them, blasting them around. That was fun.
Yeah, that was real fun. I was like, oh, dang, you heard bones cracking, Chris. You heard skulls cracking. Star Wars is kind of afraid to show that kind of stuff, and I'm glad they did it here, where it shows that these things, they're cute, funny, whatever, K2SO, but he can break a man in half, and they should be scared. They kind of do that with the Wookiees a little bit, but not as much as I'd like to see. Again, season 1 is better, but season 2, pretty good. Anything else, Chris?
No, I think that's all I got, Steve.
You still got ears after I talked them off of you?
Barely.
I saw your eyes getting glazed over a little
I
bit.
took a little nap, but
sure,
I love hearing. You got such a soothing voice.
Well, thank you. Heaven forbid I should tell you my opinions on things. Well, if you guys are still listening, tell us what you thought of Andor Season 2 or Season 1, which they all compare. If you could subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter, our other
TikTok.
things. We have TikTok. We have a multitude of things you can follow us on. With that being said, we wish you a happy week and have a good day. Bye.
Popcorn. Pop, 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 pop.
This is the
Stale. Popcorn. Quick kiss. Popcorn.